evening, depending on where you're joining me from today. My name is Toyin Umesiri, all the way in Chicago, Illinois. Thank you so much for being here. If this is your first time ever, today I'm actually diving to my newsletter with the same title as today's live stream is How to Become More Strategic in Setting Your Content Goals. Okay. So earlier this week, I released the content strategy development workbook and guide. And this article is based on some of the nuggets and strategies I shared in the workbook. So, one thing I also did was to include the link to the article. So, if you want to follow the discussion, right, you can also download it. I have it printed out with me today. So, feel free to click on the link, open up the article, and then let's get to discuss and review it. Okay. And I also have Clubhouse here. Do you want to say anything, Miss Bennett?
Oh, just hello and thank you for having this important discussion.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here as well. And thank you to everyone joining to listen in live and also team replay. I really do appreciate it. So, the first quote that I put out here, so I usually release like nuggets of information. I try to pack in a lot of information, trying to summarize it. So, the first one is this idea that a brand is a statement, right? But here's the key, just making a statement without passion, conviction, perspective, right? There's really no power to move and shift minds. So that's the first thing to be aware of is that the way we shift minds, the way we influence, the way we communicate is also does matter. The effectiveness of our words, our message is so important that we offer our perspective, right? Our perspective, our experiences, right? We offer our passion, right? Why am I doing this? Why am I delivering this message, right? We also offer our convictions, meaning I'm convinced that this is the way. I'm convinced you need this product. I'm convinced that this service would save you, right? Or, what I usually say, if you've listened to my live shows before, is this idea of a medical doctor that is prescribing a medication, right? Is convinced, right, to a certain extent that when the patient takes the prescription as recommended by the medical doctor, right, they're going to feel better, right? Because if they're not convinced, then they'll also communicate that and say, oh, well, we're not sure, but let's try this, right? That's what I mean by when you have a brand statement, right? What are you convinced about? What are you passionate about, right? Your perspective on the world, right? And what you want to see happen, right, in the world is what backs your brand statement. The reason this is important is because of the second um, quote I put in there that I said, your content is your vehicle that will help you deliver your message. For it to be effective, you also must be strategic. Okay, so both of those things are super connected. And for those in the room, Caleb, do come up stage so that the audio will be better for those on Clubhouse. Okay, so I'm diving into my article again. The link is included. And thank you, Caleb, for coming to the stage. So basically, here are 4 content types that I also shared in the workbook, right? One is brand positioning, right? These types of content, right, helps you create a space, right, for your brand story in the hearts and the minds of the people we would like to do business with. So, at what point should you be creating content that supports your brand positioning in the marketplace, right? Um, right? People want to sell. I get it, right? So I teach international trade, entrepreneurship principles at the Business and Leadership Academy, right? I do all of that. But the key is we also need to invest time in telling our stories, right? In positioning our brand, our identity. Remember our passions, our convictions, our perspective, our experiences, our skills, why we are the perfect person that can solve a specific solution in the marketplace, right? We have to be able to communicate that. So let me stop right there before I go on and just get some reactions. Mr. Caleb, you've been here a few times. Any thoughts or questions on what I just shared? And if you're not available, that's okay. Okay, maybe no questions for now. Let me keep going then. The second content type that I also explained in the workbook and the guide is that thought leadership. There's a type of content that we need to create that allows us to demonstrate, right, expertise, experience, skill in the marketplace, right? So, are you investing time in creating content to help you demonstrate thought leadership? Because at the end of the day, right, a doctor is a doctor, but before we go to a medical doctor, we trust them. We're trusting them in a way, right, that they will tell us the right thing. So you wouldn't go to someone that you do not believe is a leader or an expert in a specific space, right? So when people are seeking out solutions that you offer, how do they know that you can serve them? How do they know that you can help them in that area? The way you help them understand is by creating content where you demonstrate your thought leadership, your skills, right? Your experience, right? You want to showcase that so that when people understand what it is that they need and they understand that you can solve it for them, you'll be top of mind, right? The third content type that I also covered here is this idea of visibility, marketing, awareness, remaining top of mind. The day I gave an example in the article, I said the day Pepsi stops advertising and showcasing their brand every single day to us, their competition would step in and take their spot. That's just the nature of the game. And then also sales conversion, right? Content type. There are different strategies and different things you can do. But to summarize, when it's time to convert and sell, most of the conversation is around description, features, benefits, right? What can your solution do for people, right? You need to focus on that because that's what people are buying, right? The transformation, the solution is what people are investing in. So you need to be able to communicate that. Okay. So before I move to the second segment, I just want to take time out to welcome everyone joining. Please let me know where you're joining from if you're watching live and drop a comment. And if you're also team replay, you're welcome to the space. My name is Toyin. You messily call me Coach Toyin. I teach entrepreneurship principles and leadership. And here's what I also say is that I help people to accelerate their success, their business growth and success. When I say accelerate, I serve as a catalyst. The programs, information, services that I provide, perspective, experience that I bring to the table on behalf of my clients and members is to help them accelerate, right, their business growth and success. And what I also say is if you're fine with the pace at which you're going, okay, if you're okay with the pace at which you're going, and if you're fine with the results you're getting, that means you're good. But if you want to speed it up, that's when you tap into expert programs, coaching, support, because what we can do is bring our experience, bring our expertise, right, to bear for you to help you speed up, right? But unfortunately, what I've also seen is that most times people want to stay where they are, and that there's nothing wrong with that, but be aware that when you stay where you are, you're just should I say lengthening your journey, right? You're just right what you could solve today if you leave it to tomorrow or next week, it's a decision at the end of the day. It's a decision, right? So when offers like solutions and strategies are offered to you, you have to understand that deciding not to take it is also a decision to just extend that journey, right? But what I've seen is that successful people, they make decisions faster because they're trying to save time. They're trying to arrive at their destinations faster. They want to see results quicker. And because of that, they tend to tap into experts and expert knowledge much more than people that want to do it themselves, like DIY. So DIY is fine because I do have workbooks that you can also download, like the entrepreneurs workbook that you can access and download and start right tapping into growing your business as well. So the second part of the article that I released today is this idea that I'm encouraging people to be more strategic, how to be more strategic in your approach in any area. So I broke it into three steps to being more strategic. This could actually, or maybe should have been a separate article by itself with the title saying how to become more strategic, right? So step one, whenever you're trying to design a strategy, right? Step one is bring all your skills, your expertise, right? Look at alternative routes. What are your goals? What's your destination? What are you trying to achieve? Okay. What are your goals? What's your destination? So if you want to go from Chicago, right, to somewhere, right? Where are you going? Why are you going? Okay. What are the most optimized routes to get there? What are the options you have? And the key, what you have to also realize is that the quality and the effectiveness of a strategy is always limited by the experience, skills, knowledge of those putting it together, right? So if someone with 20 years experience or 5-year experience or 1-year experience, if they were asked to put together a strategy on a particular topic, you can be rest assured that the 20-year or 5-year experienced person will bring their years of experience together. They will bring all the best practices that they've seen, the trials and errors, what works, what doesn't work. They're going to bring it, that educated, informative knowledge that they have, they're going to bring it together in designing the best alternative, like the best route to achieving a success. That's why expert knowledge and coach and all of those things is that those people are bringing, we're bringing together our experience, our perspective, best practices. We're bringing it forward to people who do not have the same experience, right? So the quality of any strategy, content strategy, branding strategy, consumer insights, development, product launch, the quality of people's ability to get it done, okay, effectively, faster. The underlying factor is skill, capacity, right? You hear me talk about skill development, capacity development, is because when you develop your skill from, say, basic to intermediate or intermediate to expert, you are going to bring all that experience to designing your business and building your business. That's why I have the academy. That's why I teach. That's why I right, right, impact, because it's about elevating and increasing skill, going from basic to intermediate to mastery level, right? So that is so important. Being strategic, step one is deciding where you're going, deciding the desired outcomes, and then understanding what are the alternative routes of getting there, and then optimizing that route, right? Optimizing that route to say what's the most effective way. Because when it comes to content, as example, if you don't have options, if you don't know the different options, the different things you could be doing, you may be doing something that is less effective, that will not get you any result. But you don't know what you don't know, right? So you don't really know what's limiting the outcomes. So step one is always looking at alternative options, and usually you need expertise, experience, skill to be able to, before you can optimize. Step two is then planning. How do we get there? Right? How do we get there? When do we get there? I want to welcome Miss Michelle to the room on Clubhouse. Please do feel free to come up to the stage. I'm going over my article for my newsletter that I've launched and released today. I have it printed out, and that's what I'm going over. We're now in the second section, where I'm teaching how to become more strategic. So, step one, where are you going? What results do you desire? Okay, that's the first question. What are the options, the alternative routes of going after what you want to achieve, right? And those options are dependent on expertise, skills, right? And then step two is really planning, right? So, for example, in content strategy in the workbook, you can now plan forward. You don't have to be reactive anymore. When you have expertise, skills, and you know what it is you're doing and how to approach it, you can now plan to say, next month, these are my goals. The next 2 months, the next 3 months, the next 90 days, as example, this is what I want to do with my Content. These are the types of content I want to deliver. So whether it's thought leadership content, right? Brand positioning content, visibility awareness, right? Marketing content, or sales conversion content. You can now plan, you can bring all of those things in the workbook and the guide that you can access at the Business and Leadership Academy. You can now bring that, you can now plan instead of being reactive. Many people are reactive today, right? Every single day it's reactive. What am I sharing? What should I share? Who am I sharing it to? My When I teach and coach, I say come back to the drawing board, answer a couple of questions. So as example, the content, right? Vehicle, message. What message do you want to deliver? Right? So the workbook goes through a lot of questions that it's about designing your expertise, your strategy, right? Because when you want to put together a strategy, the quality of the strategy is highly dependent on the expertise, whether it's basic level, intermediate, right, expert level. If you are bringing basic understanding to the drawing board, you're likely to get basic results. If you bring expert knowledge to the drawing board, then it's like you're building a building. The quality of the architects determines the quality of the structure and the beauty, right? If you get the best architect in the world to draw a strategy, to draw a plan, when it's time to implement it, right? Now, there's also, when I talk about skill and capacity, this is where, when it's time to build that building, even if you give the fantastic building to the hands of inexperienced contractor, you still get a shoddy result. That's why I always match things up. Best strategy, best plan, best execution. That's step one, two, three, because step three is now execute. So, expert strategy, that's the design of what it is I want to do. Why am I doing this? What are the desired outcomes? You need expertise there. Best expertise in designing your house, best expertise in planning. What are we doing the next 90 days? The best skills in executing. When it's time to execute, if you give the best laid out plans and the best strategy to someone that do not have the experience, that's a weak spot as well. So that's why at the academy, I always talk about knowledge, information, skill building, and I talk about practical versus theoretical knowledge. And I also point out that you need practical knowledge to develop skill, because skill can be developed through practice, repetition, and that's how you gain mastery. So always remember that the first three, like the three steps: one, strategy; two, planning; three, executing. And this is what I see out there, because people don't have strategy, because people don't have a plan. They're going to step three, they're skipping those two steps, and they are reactive, right? When you don't have a plan and you don't have a game plan, you don't have a strategy, you don't have skill, you don't have experience, then you're going to jump, right? It's when someone will tell you that's the next best thing, you run there. That's the next best thing, you run there. Every single day, that's what they call the rat race. Strategy actually helps you get off the rat race and go back to the drawing board, so that when you're showing up, you know why you're showing up, you know the results you're trying to achieve, right? And you can maximize all the tools, these incredible social media tools that can help us deliver on our message. So when I say that content is a vehicle that will help you deliver on your message, what I mean is that social media is a powerful tool to convey your message. But here's the key: the message is even more important, the packaging, the strategy behind, right? Communication strategy, content strategy, they go hand in hand. What are you trying to communicate? Who is that message for? Right? How do you want them to feel? What's the delivery van supposed to deliver? When you deliver it, right? What's the address? And when it arrives, is it a message that they will look at and go, I don't know who sent this to me? Trash. Because that's what's happening online. When I talk about your brand strategy, which we have another program at the academy, if you send a message with an address and it gets to the person and they don't know you, they look at the address and they're like, who are you? Where are you coming from? Why should I bring this message into my house? They trash it, all those stickers and different things that people put at your door, right? Here in America, what do? Flip, 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 trash. All those messages that somehow the mailman puts in your box, you're like, I don't know you, trash. I don't know you, trash. No, I'm not interested, trash, trash, right? It's important that you also have the right strategy, right? So that when your message arrives at the doorstep of your stakeholders, of the people you're trying to do business with, it will be welcomed. And for it to be welcomed, there are several steps you have to go through. People are skipping steps and they're just trying to, it's like throwing mud to looking for what's going to stick. You can be more strategic. Okay. So if you're listening to me, be more strategic. That's the message of the second section. And then the third section in that article is really diving into the world of the Business and Leadership Academy, the way I've structured it, right? So there are two groups, right? The premium and the professional members. They have access to everything, everything. But here's the key: the price is going up next month, but I also know that people need specific support, tactical support in different areas. So there are core areas. If you're trying to grow your business, let me just tell you what you need to absolutely master. And there are programs bundled to support you there. Number one, the strategy that you're going to deploy in launching your product and your services. You need to have a strategy. Remember, I just shared how to be strategic. To be strategic means you're not just out there launching all over the place without a plan and without a strategy. That's why I included that section. I think I'm going to keep teaching that step 1, 2, 3 because it's a behavior change. It's a mindset and behavior change that we need to introduce. Is when it comes to launching your products and your services, you need to be more strategic. And before I keep going on section 3, I know I've been talking a little bit. Let me take a moment and pause and just get some reactions or thoughts. Or if there are questions, do drop it in the chat section, right? And also come up to the stage if you would like to contribute. Or, okay, no, I'm pressing something I shouldn't here. Okay, does anybody want to come up, ask a question or comment before I go on to section 3 and dive deeper into that? Any thoughts, reactions, Caleb? Miss Felling, welcome to the stage. Miss Michelle, Ade, Elijah, great to have you here. Thoughts, reaction? Oh, you're on the call. Okay. If they are not, I'm going to go into section 3. And if you're listening to the replay, if this is Team Replay, you're welcome as well. Do reach out and let me know what you think. Also go to toyinumesiri.com/academy to actually access what it is I'm about to share. So when it comes to launching your product and your services, you need a game plan. Okay. When it comes to launching your brand story, your brand identity, remember, part of your content strategy that I shared in section 1 is different content types. Before you can develop content around brand positioning, meaning your brand story occupying space in the hearts and the minds of the people you hope to do business with, before you can do that effectively, that's why we have a different program for that. Before you can create content, what's your message is what's your brand strategy. You need to make sure you have a clear story, and there's a 5 parts program at the academy that you can access to help you design your brand strategy, right? Again, every time I use the word strategy, remember those 3 steps. Every time I use the word be more strategic, launch strategy, market entry strategy, branding strategy, anytime I put strategy behind anything, I'm talking about those 3 steps. Step 1, designing the strategy. Step 2, planning. Step 3, executing. And the quality of those 3 is highly dependent on skill, experience, capacity, all of that, right? You may design a strategy. You may say, I want to build a house, a 120-story house. If you don't have the capacity and the resources to actually do what you just designed, what's going to happen? It stays on paper, right? Sometimes people would let an architect draw, right? And then they'll fold it up and then they'll start saving money, right? for the day they can then build their dream house. It's the same thing is true is step one, you can build a strategy, but you also have to factor in planning. What do I need to, right, in order to pull that off? Do I need a team? Do I need graphics artists? Do I need website designers? What skills do we now have to put together? It's like when you're constructing the house, it's one thing to design the house. Oh, 5 rooms, 3 rooms, awesome. Planning is now okay. How many windows do we need? What are the raw materials, right? What are the resources I need to put together? Oh, I want to build a business that does this, that does amazing, fantastic, great. Vision, amazing. You are the architect. How do you pull it off? Skill, capacity development. Okay. So you also, so one, I said product service launch strategy, brand strategy. Okay. Consumer insights development, right? There's a strategy behind that. At the Business and Leadership Academy, there's a 5 circle like program. One, identifying them. Two, understanding. Three, building for them. Four, marketing to them. Five, selling and supporting them. That's what I've designed. If you, so there's a whole program around if you want to do consumer insights, getting more familiar, intimately familiar with the needs of the people you want to serve. The customer is the heart, right? When you think about the business roadmap, business growth roadmap that I designed, the customer is a journey you have to go on, right? So product service launch, brand strategy, customer insights development program. The entrepreneur workbook has 30 plus strategic questions that it's a DIY workbook. Okay. It's a workbook that if you want to, it's about business development. If you download that entrepreneur's workbook, is DIY. You take that workbook. I have over 30 strategic questions that will help you unlock growth. It's DIY. Okay. Because a lot of times people love DIY and nothing wrong with that. But if you DIY with basic knowledge, you will get scrappy results. That's why programs like this will help you elevate the outcomes because you don't know what questions to ask. If you don't know what questions to ask yourself, you don't know how to go to the market, you don't know what to do, right? That entrepreneur's workbook is at least start there. If you don't have a budget, start there at a minimum. Then also this week, I launched the Content Strategy Development Guide and Workbook. And then there's also what I call the Business Accelerator course. Okay. And then the Game Plan Leadership and Success Program that tackles all kinds of mindsets, stories, whatever it is you believe that is stopping you from competing at the highest version of yourself, right? It's about what's stopping you from communicating. So if within you, you are a lion, but you are communicating cat, the whole world will continue to, they won't call you a lion. What are they going to call you? Is what you put out there. You get to decide your story. And if you're not telling your story, you leave a vacuum, everybody will fill it up for you. Right? That's the power when I'm teaching like branding and all of those things. You don't get to leave a vacuum. If you leave a vacuum and you don't tell people who you are, they'll come up with all kinds of story. And then you have to set, they will deal with you based on the story they manufacture about people like you. Okay, I think I just switched to the funny because once I just put, did you notice that once I just put the book down, Toyin just shifted. Toyin, there's Toyin the instructor, Toyin the community leader, Toyin the coach, right? I just noticed this as well as the moment I dropped, I'm like, that's over. I started laughing differently because now I'm relaxed. I'm not teaching anymore. Now I'm now in a conversation state. So let's talk. If anybody wants to come up, I'm done. My project here is done, right? You know, here's the key. I need to start also engaging when it comes to mindset, when it comes to, I have a whole program that supports my members that helps them tackle these things because we see it. It's in the way. It's in the way. And let me share an example. Some of the things in the way is how we make decisions, procrastination, imposter syndrome, on and on and on. Okay. What we need to realize, what you don't know is that life and decisions always have to be made in the moment. Nobody lives in tomorrow and nobody lives in yesterday. But many people that are living a less success, let me just say less successful life, right? Everybody is successful in terms of output, right? It's about productivity, right? Is that they always push decision to tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes. The most successful people will make a decision quickly, yes, no, and they give space in their mind for, and they are, it's like being open in your heart to opportunities, because all the opportunities you want in life will intersect with a moment in time. It will be presented to you in a moment, and when you miss that moment is gone. And if you push your decision making till tomorrow, there is no guarantee that that opportunity is coming again. And that's why even in my membership, I try to kind of should I say coach or teach that speed, like you have to train yourself to a certain level. If you know where you're going and it's a decision point to say turn right or turn left, indecision will leave you stuck where you are, right? It leads to delay. That's just what it means, right? Is that many times people procrastinate, not realizing that the decisions they are procrastinating is just delaying the desired result, particularly if what it is they're trying to avoid, that they are not trying to do at the moment, they may not realize the opportunity to unlock for them. Like it's a step closer. If it's a step closer to your future and you're saying tomorrow, that means you just kicked that future down the street. That's all it means. Not deciding today to pursue what you want, to make a decision that will help you attain everything you say you want, everything you've prayed for, everything you say you need, right? Not making a decision today is you're delaying it to tomorrow. And when tomorrow comes again, it's still today. And when that today, tomorrow becomes today, they will still say tomorrow, tomorrow. That's why they say tomorrow never comes, right? The other thing in the way, these are things I've seen, okay, is that when people find themselves in a hole, instead of being strategic, remember I talked about 3 steps to being strategic. No, 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 no. It's like digging faster. If somebody throws a lifeline, it's like when people are swimming. You remember when people are swimming or drowning, when somebody's like trying to say, use this, they'll say, no, no, no. They swim faster. That is a phenomenon that is true. I'm calling it out so that if you see it in yourself, just take a moment, stop what you're doing, and then practice the 3 steps I just shared today. Stop. You remember this story? What's um oh, Legally Blonde. Stop, drop, roll. It's like if you catch fire, you don't keep running. You drop, you roll. That's my kids also told me this, right? The firefighters is that when you're in a when you're in a ditch, don't stop digging. Stop what you stop moving fast in the wrong direction. Practice the 3 steps I just shared, and you'll be amazed that when the solution you need arrives, you will be more calmer to decide that you're going to invest. But what I see is that, you know, people just kick it to tomorrow is going to be right. Life is lived one day at a time. And people who know where they're going, they grab opportunity, they seize the moment. That's what they talk about, seizing the moment. You seize the opportunity because, but if you think that opportunity is coming back, it may not come back. How many opportunities, and I have this, I've that's why the reason I can share this and explain it and describe it in a way that I know what I'm saying is because it's something we all have to keep working on. That when we pray, Lord, send an answer. When the answer comes, if it doesn't come the way you think it will come, you will say, no, thank you. Next, you are hoping that that bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. And what will come tomorrow, there's no guarantee, right? So anyway, just those things. I think I'll keep sharing it for those like in the future. I'll keep sharing because these are core success principles, success mindset. Is decision making, our ability to be able to say yes, no quickly. No is actually better, much, much better because you clear space. You clear space. You tell the world, that's not for me. It's like dance on reels. No. Go on TikTok. No. It may be for you, right? But I will test it out and decide quickly. Anytime they are releasing something, I will explore it quickly. Why? So that I can decide as quickly as possible and shut it off or keep going. It's the same thing. Clubhouse, TikTok, all these things, Instagram. I will decide in a moment to explore it. Before you close the door, explore. Particularly when you have a desire for greatness. Hmm. Maybe another topic for another day. Another topic for another day. It's because people are saying, I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to be that. But here's the key: how you're going to get yourself from where you are to where you decide to be is a series of decisions. It's like you're driving from here to California, right? To get there, it's a series of right turns, left turns, stop, go, park your car, fill your tank. It's a series of decisions. And when you decide not to decide, you stay at the stoplights forever. And people will be like, boom, 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 right? Move, move, move. Life is saying to some people, move, move, move. Why you like make a decision? Turn right or turn left, but keep moving, right? Because you're delaying people, right? And unfortunately, when it comes to your own dreams, your own goals, who are you delaying? Right. So let's just be aware of that. I just wanted to shed that light as well, because when it comes to opportunities, when opportunity comes, it's too late to prepare. But we always need to also know how to take advantage of opportunities that will help us accelerate and arrive at our destinations faster. And when a decision is presented to you and you believe it's not for you, quickly say no and move on, or do a deep research so that you can make the right decision, right? So even if you're not ready to make a right decision yet, make a decision to research, make a decision to dig deeper, make a decision to explore. And then when you have more information, step one of strategy, you can say no, yes, so that you can move on. And God can keep bringing you more opportunities that will help you arrive where you want to arrive. So thank you, everyone. I'm going to shut the live stream now and then head over to Clubhouse for more conversations. So thank you, everyone, for being here. And Team Replay, I really do appreciate you. See you around. Have a great weekend. This is Coach Toying. Go check out my website, toyingmesri.com/academy, and sign up for the programs and membership as well. God bless you.